Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the German election will, take place, or whatever you want to call it, tomorrow. So there is an interesting article that I found on the DV website that we will be talking about today, and it's pretty interesting. It's basically titled, "With No Clear Frontrunner, Candidates Make Their Final Pitches." So we're going to go through this article, kind of dissect it, and then I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to make this a pretty big thing. So for those that aren't following me, or they're kind of stumbling up on this channel, a lot of what I cover is centered around Europe, specifically Germany. I'm teaching myself German, kind of diving into the culture and things of that nature. There is currently an election going on to see who will be the new chancellor of Germany. Currently, it's Angela Merkel, but as of tomorrow, it'll be a different candidate, and I'm pretty sure I have my own speculations on who that might be, and why, you know. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. I post videos every single day. Subscribe if you guys are new, and let's go ahead and dive nose deep into this thing and see exactly what we are working with. Los geht's. All right, so here we have literally what the article was saying earlier. German election. With no clear frontrunner, candidates make their final pitches. Germany's chancellor hopefuls have held their last campaign events around the country ahead of Sunday's vote. The race is close, and who will lead the country into the post-Merkel era is far from decided. Here we go. Here we have a big poster. You have the three candidates that are pretty much up in the front. You have Laschet, you have this guy, don't know his name, forgot, and then this chick from the Grüne Party. So SPD, CDU, and Grüne Party. So Germany's chancellor candidates are making their final stops in a campaign for the history books. Never before has the outcome been so uncertain. Polls show a statistical dead heat between the two parties have shared power for 3 of Angela Merkel's 4 terms as chancellor. Both sides would like to end that arrangement. Who will take its place? And Merkel's and the chancellery is anyone's guess. That has injected a sense of urgency into the race, which was on display at the top party's campaign events. By Sunday evening, they'll know how well their messages got through to the voters. Interesting. Merkel appeals for stability. Outgoing German Chancellor Angela Merkel made a final endorsement on Saturday for Armin Laschet, chairman of the center-right Christian Democratic Union, or the CDU, is beleaguered conservative bloc's pick for chancellor. Speaking alongside Laschet at an event in western city of Aachen, Merkel sought to portray her would-be successor as a bridge builder who would get people on board. To keep Germany stable, Armin Laschet must become chancellor, and the CDU and CSU must be the strongest force, the chancellor said. So of course she's endorsing him. They're in the same party, so it makes sense. Merkel hopes that an appeal for stability will be enough to overcome some voter doubts in the CDU's Laschet. Beleaguered conservatives. At a rally on Friday, the mood was somewhat different, with a largely unmasked audience inside a popular event space. Laschet traveled to Munich, the capital of which the CDU's sister party, the Christian Social Union, rules Bavaria. He took to the stage the same message of foreboding he and his allies have been pushing for much of the campaign: beware of the left. He stressed the need for a German government to guarantee security, both economic and otherwise. Taxing the middle class is the wrong way. We stand with Germany's middle class, he said. In his 30-minute address, Laschet credited conservative rule with the enforcement's ability to foil an alleged attack on a synagogue earlier this month, which was reportedly thanks to a tip from a foreign intelligence service. Imagine being represented in the world by red, green, Laschet said, referring to the colors of the Social Democrats, SPD, the Socialist Left, and the Greens. Do you think anyone would share information with us? Would anyone take us seriously? Damn, he really came at them crazy. He's like, listen, if imagine people on the left side receiving, or like trying to solicit information about an attack like that may or may not happen, like they wouldn't take it seriously, is what he's saying. Like they would be like, whatever. That's kind of bogus, actually, but dang, it gets real messy when it comes to politics, man. Laschet, who may be leading his center-right union bloc to its worst result ever, is relying on its conservative base to turn out on Sunday to stop the center-left surge and give him a fighting chance at forming a coalition government. Yet his party support for him has long been lukewarm, despite winning both leadership and chancellor candidate contests earlier this year. Okay. Honestly, let me know in the comments down below right now. Why do you think so many people are pushing against Armin Laschet? Because this is not the first time I've heard this. I've heard this from you guys in Discord. I've seen this in the comment section in plenty of the videos I've made about the German political system, and just watching a lot of videos and stuff recently on the current election. So I feel like something's going on with how he's portraying himself. A lot of people are like, this dude is definitely not it. Like, he's not a good person. I've seen why you guys have said some of those things, but I really want to confirm that in the comments down below right now. So if you guys have any reason why Armin Laschet should not be chancellor, please let me know right now in the comments down below. Laschet was feted at an event in Bavaria earlier in September by Söder and the CDU. The campaign's choice of location meant that the CSU leader and Bavaria's state premier, Markus Söder, was the event's de facto host. He is more popular than Laschet nationally and was the preferred candidate for many party insiders, but struck a supportive note on Friday. We will turn the game around on Sunday evening, catch the SPD, and be the #1 in Germany. Right now, it seems like the SPD is leading the charge. From what I've seen, it seems like the SPD is leading the charge. So my prediction is that the SPD's candidate is going to dominate that election tomorrow. That's just just off of the stats where I see them now. That's kind of where it looks like things are heading. But elections have been overturned at the last minute quite a bit. So I don't know that for sure, but from what I've seen, it's looking like that. Söder warned against voting for the pro-free market Free Democrats, a common union bedfellow and Laschet's favored coalition partner. Söder said that one could already feel the most immoral vibrations between the SPD's Scholz and the FDP leader Christian Lindner, alluding to Linder's alleged ambition to become finance minister and a new government. Söder received a boisterous standing ovation from the audience at long beer hall tables covered in white tablecloths. Beer hall tables. Well, that's why he got so much standing ovation. Damn, I wish our elections was as lit as that. Man, imagine having an election at a beer hall. That would be lit as hell, bro. Germany's elections be lit, though, man. There were plenty of trademark Bavarian beer mugs and pretzels to go around. That's legendary. That's imagine. Well, obviously y'all imagine it because it happens. But damn, they don't have stuff like that in America, bro. It's boneless as hell out here, man. Like, it's just a dry ass election. We don't have beer. We don't have pretzel out here, man. You know, we got a whole glass of depression. That's what we got out here, man. Confident social democrats. The center-left SPD's chancellor candidate Olaf Scholz struck close to home on Saturday, holding a smaller dialogue event with voters in his constituency in Potsdam outside of Berlin. In his last major rally for the SPD on Friday, Scholz traveled to Cologne. He had exuded increasing confidence as his and his party's electoral fortunes have turned around. Long counted out of the race, the SPD now finds itself ahead by a few percentage points. So I know I was saying like the SPD was winning by a landslide. I exaggerated that a bit. They're not winning by a landslide, but they're definitely on top right now. I feel like they're definitely first place. That confidence was on display at the Heumarkt. Yeah, the Heumarkt, a large square just off the Rhine River, where a few hundred mostly masked people gathered to listen to the man who has served in Merkel's government and now hopes to lead the next one. After such a long campaign, there's something quite special about standing here now, Scholz told the crowd, standing before a large video screen that read, "Germany's future, Scholz takes on." Scholz packt das an. Interesting. In a roughly half-hour-long speech, he talked up his plans for increasing the minimum wage, raising taxes on the wealthiest, helping the neediest more, keeping pensions stable, and investing in renewables. His remarks were peppered with his campaign's keyword, respect. In a country as wealthy as Germany, it's not acceptable that so many children live in poverty, he said. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Scholz kind of looking a little appetizing, man, as far as a candidate goes. If that's his stance, I can see why so many people are voting for him. Greens set to play a major role. Their policies may differ, but the Greens share the union's frustration with a campaign that has not gone to plan. Their distant third place in the polls has nearly doubled their 2017 electoral result, but it is a far cry from the highs that they saw earlier this year when there was brief talk of them leading the next government. Okay. So here we go. We have a tweet here. Shadowplatz in Dusseldorf is filling up for the Greens' final campaign event before Sunday's election, BTW 21. The Greens are polling third, a disappointment compared to their standing at the start of the campaign, but likely still their best result ever in federal elections. Yeah, the Greens are kind of like a party that no one really thought would ever get the light of day, and look at them now. Third? The fact that they're up there is incredible. You know what I mean? Like that, I got to give it to them. You know what I mean? Like even if people disagree with their ideology, that's insane. I pat on the back for that. They made it up there. Their chancellor candidate, Annalena Baerbock, can also relate to Lachette's struggles with the party support. Critics say that Robert Habeck, who leads the party with her, would have been the better pick. The two made a joint appearance before party supporters on Friday in Dusseldorf, the capital of Lachette's home of the North Rhine-Westphalia. If there is any love lost between the Greens leaders, it didn't show. Habeck made a full-throated case for Baerbock's candidacy for the party agenda she has campaigned on. Merkel's conservatives have played a game of hot potato with accountability, he said. Now, from what I'm getting from this, right now it seems like anybody that had internal beef, this is the part of the election, and any election worldwide, right, where you have the candidates that were fighting within the parties and stuff like that to be the party representatives. They now by default have to back whoever is currently the party representative. So if you have the CDU, CSU, or no, okay, you have the CDU, SPD, the Grüne Party, right? There were already multiple candidates trying to go for the position to run for the primary spot for those specific, groups. Like for the CDU, you had multiple candidates try to go for Angela Merkel's spot, and then it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I guess we're gonna have to support Armin Laschet at the end of the day, so everybody's buckling down. Every person who is back talking down on or disagreeing with each party's current representative, person who's running for the chancellor position, they're now receiving support from the same people who showed strong disagreements with them early on when they were running against each other. And it's always interesting to see that. So, people always sing to a different tune, a few days before the election. So it's pretty interesting. We need politicians who are once again ready to use the time they have to bring out the best. Habeck told several hundred people, mostly in masks, who came to Shadowplatz, a shopping area in the city's old town. After a musical interlude, Baerbock took the circular stage in the center of the crowd and picked up the same theme. Everything hinges on this election, she said. Do we just keep on with the status quo, or do we finally achieve a new breakthrough? Do we renew this country and get the best out of it? Baerbock has called the vote on Sunday a climate election. At least some of the Greens' climate policies are likely to make it into the next government's agenda. If we can build our industry with clean energy, then we can secure our country's prosperity, she said, under a banner that read, "Do you want a climate government? Vote Green." They may fall short of the chancellery, but both Baerbock and Habeck have been up for ministerial positions for the next government. Though the Greens have indicated their preference to govern with the center-left SPD, the party stands a good chance of being in government no matter which way it leans, which is pretty insane. So this last part right here is called the final countdown. With the conclusion of Friday and Saturday's events, the party supporters go off to vote on Sunday, if they haven't done so by mail already. Postal votes are expected to be at an all-time high this year, which means many Germans have already made up their minds. However, a tight race in a highly fragmented field means none of the parties is doing particularly well. The candidates are under pressure to grab every vote, hoping to succeed Angela Merkel and her conservative-led rule. Well, that is pretty interesting, and let's talk about all of this. So, as we see here, it seems like there's a lot going on with this election. It seems like I feel like the SPD might stay, might win just barely, a very close election. and stuff like that. And it does seem to, like, everybody that's been running for chancellor, like, nobody really rocks with any of them. From what I've consistently heard from everybody, from all of you, is that none of the candidates particularly represent what people want to have in their government, which is kind of sad. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like this has been a thing globally. The candidates that have been running for these leadership positions haven't been representing these countries very well, so people kind of feel forced to vote for, like, the lesser of however many evils. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments down below, and what's your hopes for the future of Germany and things of that nature. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to talk about this with you guys. It's pretty interesting, and tomorrow I will be making another video regarding the climate of Germany and the results of the election. It's going to be pretty insane. Good luck, everybody out there. Make sure you guys vote, and that's pretty much it. See ya.